Is recognized.
Thank you. I rise in strong opposition to H.J. Res. 42. This resolution is a deliberate distraction from the fact Republicans cannot govern and have no ideas for lowering costs or helping everyday Americans. Rather than debating things that actually impact our constituents, it appears as if House Republicans opened the Federal Register, searched for what fell within the Congressional Review Act window, and then randomly selected an obscure, non-controversial rule, one that is, by the way, supported by American manufacturers. So that's why we're here today, not to talk about Republican cuts to Medicaid or DOJ's raid of the federal government or Trump's tariffs that are tanking the stock market and threatening a recession. We're not even here to consider a government funding bill when government funding runs out in less than 10 days. No, we're here to talk about appliance labels. So let me talk about them. And let me start with the fact that the recently finalized Department of Energy rule that Republicans want to strike from the books isn't even an efficiency standard. It's a set of technical updates to certification requirements and labels for select products that fall under the Appliance Standards Program. Now, you might say to yourself, Congressman Pallone, what does this mean? It means that Republicans are simply out of ideas. The Republican majority seems to be under the impression that by removing this rule from the books, they are somehow alleviating a major burden for manufacturers and consumers. The problem is that manufacturers have been submitting certification information to the Department of Energy for decades, and none of this is new. And this Republican resolution will only create regulatory confusion for American manufacturers because they will still have to make products that meet efficiency standards, but they won't have updated guidance from the Department of Energy on how to prove that they are compliant. And as a result, these companies will likely have to waste valuable time and resources on communications with lawyers and the Department of Energy as everyone tries to figure out how to move forward. So I don't know. My colleagues on the other side are suggesting they're cutting red tape. It seems to me they're creating more red tape with this resolution. Absolutely no one opposed the Department of Energy's final rule on this topic. No one. In fact, manufacturers are on record saying that consistent and clear certification guidance is helpful and necessary to them. So today's resolution is the opposite of consistent and clear. They're asking for this on the manufacturers, and you're saying no, and they don't even know, what you're talking about, frankly. But I refuse to believe that. I don't mean to laugh, but I can't believe that they think on the other side that this is a pressing issue facing Americans. In case they've forgotten, Republicans are right now moving forward with a budget that includes devastating cuts to Medicaid, all so they can give tax breaks to their billionaire buddies. And every day for the last 6 weeks, we've heard horror stories of mass firings across the federal government, funding freezes, Elon Musk and his minions having access to every American's private, personal, financial, and health care information. This is what I hear about when I go home. The list goes on. And now there's a looming government shutdown next week. So rather than tackling these real issues that are impacting the lives of everyday Americans, Republicans are wasting time with this resolution. As far as I can tell, the only beneficiaries of today's resolution are foreign manufacturers. If Republicans create chaos and uncertainty by revoking this Department of Energy rule, they will create an opportunity for cheap foreign imports with misleading claims about performance to flood our appliance market. And that would hurt consumers and American manufacturers alike. But, the Republicans have made their choice. They've sided once again with the foreign manufacturers. They've chosen to push through a resolution that doesn't reduce regulatory burdens, doesn't lower costs, doesn't improve consumer choices. The only thing it does is create chaos and confusion from what I can see. So for all these reasons, I oppose the resolution and reserve the balance of my time, Mr. Speaker.
The gentleman from New Jersey reserves the gentleman from Virginia.